Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Previously, we made rose kombucha with fresh roses, and we were left with a lot of rose pulp. Today, we're going to use this leftover rose pulp to make another fermented food, rose rice wine. If you still don't know how to make rose kombucha, you can check out that tutorial on my homepage. First, we need to prepare 500 grams of glutinous rice. At the time, I only had 250 grams, so I substituted the remaining half with regular rice. Then add about 1 liter of water and soak it for around 4 hours. After soaking, we need to rinse the glutinous rice with clean water 3 to 4 times until the water runs clear. Drain the water, then steam the rice for about half an hour. When steaming, remember to poke some holes in the rice. Once it's done steaming, let it cool until it's no longer too hot to touch, then add the rose dregs and mix well. This big chunk here is the leftover dregs from when I made rose kombucha, using 500 grams of roses. I added about 2/3 of it in batches, making sure every grain of rice was coated with the pink rose petals. It looked really beautiful. Then we steam it for another 5 minutes. But at the time, I actually steamed it for 15 minutes, so the roses turned a bit rusty in color. I was worried the color wouldn't look good, so while it was still hot, I added the remaining third of the rose dregs. At the same time, I poured in 500 milliliters of cool water, which not only helped lower the temperature but also allowed the rice to absorb more water, making it better for fermenting into wine later. Once the temperature dropped to 35 degrees, we added a packet of yeast and stirred it well. Then, we transferred everything into a container that was free of oil and water. Remember to sterilize the container in advance by scalding it with boiling water. Don't press the rice down, just gently spread it out evenly. In the middle, use a rolling pin to poke a hole. I let this batch of sweet fermented rice ferment at room temperature, and I also made a small batch to ferment in a yogurt maker that has a rice wine function. This yogurt maker came with a yogurt starter kit from Chuansho. Although it looks pretty ordinary, having 3 settings, natto, yogurt, and rice wine, is actually really convenient. Let's take a look. This is what it looks like after fermenting for 38 hours. When you open the lid, you can smell a wonderfully sweet rose fragrance, and the amount of wine produced is also excellent. At this point, if you just want to eat the sweet fermented rice, you can scoop it into small containers and put them in the fridge. But since I wanted to try the rose rice wine, I took out half, then added more water and let it ferment again for another 38 hours. These rice grains, coated in sweet fermented mash, are especially great paired with yogurt. This ice cream-like yogurt is also homemade. All you need is a whey strainer to achieve this texture. Mix the sweet fermented rice with the yogurt, and you'll find that the sweet, glutinous texture of the rice and the slight tang of the yogurt complement each other perfectly. Every bite releases a subtle aroma of fermentation, whether as breakfast or afternoon tea. This is definitely a dish you'll never forget after trying it once. As for that bucket of sweet fermented rice left to ferment at room temperature, the fermentation didn't go particularly well. Even after 38 hours, hardly any alcohol was produced. The rice wine we just made in the fermenter was filtered out using a filter bag like this after fermenting for 38 hours. Actually, if you look, even though the roses at the time had a bit of a rusty color, the amazing thing is that the finished rice wine still turned out to be a beautiful pink. Later, I had a sudden idea and added 1/3 rose kombucha to the rice wine to see how it would taste the next day. The sourness of the kombucha and the sweetness of the rice wine, after a night of secondary fermentation, even though all the fizz escaped because I used a non-sealed bottle, still tasted really good. I recommend you all give it a try. As for the leftover fermented rice, I'm planning to make some yeast-free steamed buns. We'll cover the details in the next video. If you don't want to miss out, remember to like and subscribe to my channel. I'm Tang Laoxian, sharing a healthy lifestyle. That's it for this video. See you next time. Bye bye.